The conversation today is around his bad relationship with money. What are you currently doing differently that you can just share as some of the lessons from this experience?
Most of the biggest lesson that I would learn is do not have a credit card at all. Have one if you really need it. Keep one. If you don't have the money with you, don't buy the item. That's it. If you don't have the money,
don't buy it.
Hi! So 60% of those who visit this channel are not subscribed. Are you one of them? Come on. Anyways, I know you forgot, right? So now I'm here to remind you to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't have to miss any of our episodes, all right? Now, let us dive into today's episode and I'll see you on the other side.
My name is Muneer Majeed and I am from India, Kerala to be exact. I'm a commercial photographer. I specialize in corporate branding, corporate headshots, portraits, and lifestyle photography. Take it as it comes, don't think too much about it, and don't dwell on the past. I love horror movies.
No matter how dark the night is, the sun always rises. No matter how hard life gets, keep moving forward. You never know what amazing things are waiting just around the corner. No story is too rough and no journey is too tough. Join us on Stretch Street to be inspired by the stories of people who have been through it all and come out stronger. Stretch Street Podcast. Stretching without snapping.
All right. Yes. Welcome to yet another episode on Stretch Street Podcast. And what? Happy New Year! Yes, because we are going to keep saying Happy New Year till the end of January. So don't get tired of hearing it. Happy 2023 is going to be a great year. Well, for me, 2023 was such a fantastic year. I hope you can say that for yourself. Believe it and then walk into it. Welcome to another episode on the Stretch Street Podcast. This is your host, the energetic EJ, locking it down right here. Yes, I'm bringing all the energy into 2023, so please accept me as I am, okay? All right, fantastic. So now let us get into the conversation of today with my guest, Muneer. You already met him. And this is going to be interesting, believe me, because what you're going to learn from his story, I'm eager to learn as well, because the conversation today is around his bad relationship with money. Yes. What are some of the lessons that he learned from his bad relationship with money? That is what we're going to be unpacking in this conversation. Remember that on Stretch Street Podcast, we share stretch story to bring out life lessons from these stories, right? We're documenting the stories to give you references to see that life is more than, just being cool, chilling and all of that. There is the downside to life, but in those down times or struggle or challenges at the time that we truly grow. All right, so these stories are to give you references from every angle of life to be able to draw out lessons, strategies, things that you can really learn from. Okay, so sit back, relax as we get into this conversation. All right, welcome back. Yes, yes, yes. I have my guest here. Hi, Muneer.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. Happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being here today and especially for sharing your story with us. Okay, so you love horror movies, huh?
Yes, yes. Very much so. Very much so.
Why? What was your first experience of horror movie that made you fall in love with it?
I actually watched. I think it was like when I was like really young. I think it was during like just after my school days, and I happened to see The Exorcist, and that thing like literally blew me away. I was like literally freaked out after seeing that, and I thought, okay, I want to see more of these. Like I'm getting like sort of like that high that you get. Like
Really?
you're excited, you're scared, but it's entertaining. Sort of like that. So it sort of went with that flow.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I thought, okay, fine. Then I just started reading more horror books and just started watching more horror series and everything.
Wow.
So it's
So-
become like a passion of mine. Yeah.
That's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
so having that like thrilling emotion, like what's gonna happen next, gives you a high. That is interesting.
I know it's weird, but yeah.
That is interesting. So, do you ever fantasize about creating maybe a horror movie, maybe, or like a horror themed picture? You're a photographer, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever fantasized that, or do you look forward to working on something like that? Maybe like Halloween shot or something. I don't know.
Truth be told, yes. The reason being, I'm from India, right? So most of the horror movies that I've seen that have come out from India, sorry to say, I mean, no disrespect to any of the fans of those movies, but they suck. Seriously suck. It's not always women in white dresses like running behind a guy or like the other way around. No, there's a lot more. And my concept of horror is if it can scare you in the daytime, imagine how bad it would be in the nighttime. Yeah, because it should be good enough to scare you during the day. So yes, and definitely it's actually one of the things in my bucket list. I have to do is to actually create a good horror movie that'll scare the pants off everyone.
Okay, from your mouth to the heavens.
Yes.
We hope that comes to pass very, very soon. Awesome. Right. So, Muneer, let's dive into the story because I am eager to learn. You see that high you're having from horror movies? I have it from listening to people's stories.
Yes.
And going deep into the lessons that you learned from it. So, what is this terrible relationship you had with money, of all things, to have a terrible relationship with?
Yes, definitely. Let me get into it because me and my family, we're basically from India again, and we are sort of like an okay to do middle class family and everything. So in terms of having money, we did not struggle that much because my dad was working and my mom was a housewife, but he made enough that was more than sufficient enough to give us a good education and all of that. And it sort of like grew up into such a thing that, after some time I sort of like started taking it for granted. It's always at the back of your mind that, my parents are there. So if there anything that happens, they'll bail me out of everything. So that sort of mentality, I sort of started becoming a bit of a narcissist, so to speak. I stopped caring about things. I stopped caring about people, and but I mean, it's not their fault actually. They're good people. I mean, they've done a brilliant job of raising me up to this point. But I think it was basically within me itself. I thought, okay, fine, they're there, so I can do anything and I'll still be okay, kind of thing. So it started from there, and when I actually, when I was in school, it was me alone most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a few friends, but that was it. I really didn't interact with people much.
You're more of a loner.
Yeah, more of a loner kind of thing. But I had some small group of friends, but that was basically just sort of it. Nothing great. And as I grew up, and went into college. Again, the friend circle was there, but it's sort of like, to me, it was like, yeah, you meet them, then they're gone after 2 years, after 4 years, wherever you're with. Yeah, it's gone. That chapter is sort of closed. I sort of took that to the extreme because I stopped keeping in touch with anyone, and it again went back to the same thing that, yeah, I have a little bit of money. Yeah, I can sort of
I'm
like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much okay. I can sort of like do all that. The main shift in my mindset sort of like happened when I actually landed in Dubai, because now I was earning, I was getting all this money that was getting in, and I could use it for myself. I didn't have to depend on anyone. So basically, that sort of like narcissism sort of like
Expanded. Like, hey, now I'm a big boy.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I actually never did, like, I never went out to parties or nothing. It was nothing like that. It was just spending it on things that I thought were valuable to me, like video games and this and that. Yeah.
And horror movies.
Yeah, and all that, because I bought all the consoles. I had all the consoles. I would buy games on this.
And just
that.
you having fun on your own. Like,
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. I never used to send money home. That was not part of this thing. And again, it is part of my mentality that my parents are
They're
well-to-do.
okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
They
So
don't
they don't
need-
need me to actually kind of thing. And that sort of like snowballed because I ended up taking credit cards and loans and everything. And then it reached a point where everything sort of snowballed, because there are times in life when it just goes up, and then you have that sudden dip. And then that was in like 2017, 2016, 2015, 2016. I saw the signs of it coming, because again, when I actually shifted houses, my friend would ask me, because I have one really good friend, even my wife would ask me, like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, it's still expensive, kind of thing. I said, yeah, it's fine. And we have the money, we have the cards, we have the loans and everything. It's okay. But then it came to a point where even for the smallest things, I started thinking, okay, I started like, layering up the money, all the cards and everything. I started layering it up. So I'll use one from this, one from that. And it just, like I said, 2016, 2017, it just snowballed into a complete disaster. Yeah. And that was like, because I now tell myself that 2017 November 27th is basically the day the old Muneer died, because that is how I saw it, because basically I had to leave everything, and I had to give my dog to my friend here so that he could take care of him, and then I had to send my wife back home.
Wow.
And I had to actually go and stay with my sister.
Oh, wow.
Who was gracious enough to actually,
even though you've not really maintained that relationship.
to maintain that relationship,
then,
because she was the only one who sort of like kept it up from there. And so I stayed with them for a while till I got back on my feet. But yeah, towards the end of 2017, I was like completely blown out. I mean, there was no going. For me, it was just like every day was getting up and feeling sorry for myself. What the hell did I do? Kind of thing. And we were talking about this before. It's sometimes you have to see the lessons before they happen, not when they're in that.
Yeah.
I refused to see it. I knew it was going to happen, but even then I sort of just like
ignored it
because at the back of my mind, our parents are there. They will sort of like help me.
So when this happened to you, what did your parents do? Did you tell them? Did you even?
They knew it. They knew, and they advised, and they said, go and stay with your sister for a while, and then see how to sort this
mess that you got yourself into.
Mess that I got.
So basically, this mess you're talking about is, having loans, credit cards, living. Was it more around living beyond your means, or
yes, it was actually.
And this is quite interesting, because now Muneer here is not like a party person and all of that. So you were more like even an introvert.
Yes.
And still,
Yeah.
you had this guilty pleasure that, that was sucking in your money
Yeah.
without you paying attention to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That is interesting because it would appear generally like, oh, only people who are like everywhere, I'm going to this party,
No.
I'm there, they're the one who spend most.
No.
But it's interesting to know that there are people who are like very quiet, very introverted, but they are also like having a very, very serious, bad relationship with money.
Exactly.
This is interesting.
It can be anything. For me, it was basically because I was staying in a place which charged me much more than I could afford. But the thing is, I wanted to stay in that place, so I stayed there. And I stayed there for a year and a half extra. Even though I knew
it was beyond your means.
Yeah, it was beyond my means, but I loved the place so much. So I thought, you know what? No, I can make it work. I can make it work. And that, I think, was a bad thing because I kept telling myself I could make it work. Even without the help, even without anything, even without trying, because I was in a comfort zone. And that comfort zone for me was very dangerous. And like I said, even though I realized it, I didn't act on it early enough to sort of like avert the situations, because I could have easily scaled down like crazy and
avoid the
avoid
snowballing that came afterwards.
Yeah.
So in all of those seasons, before we go on into how you then came out of it, what was going through your head at that time when all of this happened? Like, okay, shit, I messed up. What were you thinking?
Truth be told, there are times when I actually thought, should I just
end it?
Wow. Should I just end it? Should I just finish it off? Because for me it was a bit shameful. Because that's a question that people will ask. It's like, you are an introvert, you don't go out, you don't do any heavy partying, you go out and you buy all these small stuff and you keep snowballing, and that's basically it. So where did the money go? And at the end of everything, when I look back, even now, sometimes when I look back and say, I tell myself, Muneer, you are an idiot. Where did the money go? Yeah, it's always looking back and seeing, like, where did the money go? Where did it go? Like, do we know where it went? No, it doesn't. Yeah.
So what have you done differently now that you've looked at it? I hope that by now you're already getting out of the debts, right? And you're working your way out of it. But what are you currently doing differently that you can just share as some of the lessons from this experience?
Most of the biggest lesson that I would learn is, do not have a credit card at all. Have one if you really need it. Keep one. If you don't have the money with you, don't buy the item. That's it. If you don't have the money,
don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Don't fall for it.
Yeah.
I know, right? This is the New Year's now. There are going to be offers as they come in the coming weeks, one celebration after the other. You're going to have Valentine's. Please, if you do not have the money, do not buy it.
Do not buy it. Do not do it, because at the end of the day, when you look back, you'll think, oh, I actually saved that money. I mean, I can use it for something else. Because me being a photographer now, I can easily go and say, like, any money that I get from the jobs, I can say, yeah, I have this money. I can go buy new cameras, I can buy new gear and everything, because you end up, you have something known as gear acquisition syndrome. You can all buy the latest and the greatest and everything. And I keep telling people now not to do it, because I've gone through it, because it's very easy, like I said, for you to burn through the money. And at the end of the day, you'll realize, if you don't have an effective money management system with you, you will completely destroy it all, and that's not a very good place to be in.
So do you have that now, a money managing system?
Yeah.
Can you share that? Share a little bit of that.
Sure. Because what happens is, even if it's a small job and everything, I don't touch that money at all. I keep it aside. And if there's anything that I want to do, I don't, even then, I think about it twice. It's like, is it something that is very critical for me to have? is it going to change my life into like make it like 100 times better? If it's not, if the answer is a resounding no,
Then it can't wait.
It can wait. It can wait. Because I can go out and buy another watch or a new pair of shoes. Yeah, on some days I'll think, okay, fine, I've earned this much. Okay, I have a little bit that I can play around with. Let me buy myself a new T-shirt, or this
So
thing.
that's more like rewarding yourself for
rewarding
putting in the
yourself.
work.
Putting in the work kind of thing. So unless you put in the work, unless you make sure that you have a base, a strong base, especially now because I'm also running sort of like not like sort of, it is a business.
Yeah,
So,
you're growing a business now.
You're growing
so you
a
have to be
business, so I need to think 10 times more to make sure, like, if there's a point where that I'm not able to afford or do something, then again I need to look back and see. And now I'm in a position where I don't need to look back too far. I can see anything that I do now, the repercussions will happen in the next month.
Yeah.
So it is sort of like, okay, living day by day. Make sure you have enough money to complete all your crucial obligations, and the rest don't touch it. Don't touch it unless it's an emergency, because I'll tell you another thing as well. There was a point in time when my dad fell sick, and I did not have money. I did not have money to support them. I wanted to be able to support them, but I did not have money.
That's painful.
And that literally tore me from the inside. It tore me from the inside, because I kept thinking, okay, Muneer, dude, this is what you did to yourself. This is what you did to yourself, that everyone looks down on you. Because people, like, the concept of people and relationships in India, it's very different. They think once you reach a certain age, you're supposed to be able to take care of your parents, and you're supposed to be able to do that. And I don't, not many will know about all of this, but the thing is, when that happens and you're not able to actually contribute, it's sort of like
makes you useless.
Yeah,
it's similar to our culture as well. Yeah.
So that's the thing. So whatever money that you have, and there's no harm in asking, because one thing I realized was I had too much of pride also along with that narcissism. That sort of like pride. Yeah, I want them
I'm okay.
down.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, I don't need your help. But what I've realized, especially in 2018, once I actually got down, once my whole outlook changed, and I got down to the brass tacks, I realized I need help. I need to ask people. I need always, if you have anything, speak to someone or ask someone something, and let it be someone that you are close to, and because there should be someone who basically you can
be open with, you can be yourself with, you can be vulnerable with. So that's another lesson another lesson you learn from your experience, that no man is an island. Like, we've heard it, we hear it all the time, but do you really understand it? Do you really understand it? And are you living it, that no man is an island? This is not to say you should become a parasite to those around you, but just know that there would come that time that you're going to need to ask for help. And there will also come that time that you would need to be the help to the people in your life. So it's a cycle that goes right. So on the days they need you, you need to be there for them, so that when you need them, they can be there for you. But like, you can't go solo. No matter how good you are at what you do, no matter how rich you think you are right now, you can't go solo. I feel like for us as humans, we are not created to do life alone. This is not even about, maybe, okay, you need a better half, or a relationship, or a marriage, or something, or a romantic relationship. But like, you need humans in your life at different levels. People you can talk business with, people you can share your vulnerability with, and people you can also pour into. People that can look up to you, people that you can also say, I've been there, this is not how to do it. So there's that vertical and horizontal relationship. People you look up to, people who look up to you, and people you relate with on the same level. So that is really important.
Very important.
Wow. What is one thing that, based on your experience and the downtime, and just coming down to that, what is one thing that you think, this I would never do again? because of my experience. I would never do this again. What's that one thing?
Live beyond my means.
I love it. Like,
Live beyond my means.
never.
Don't
Nothing is
ever.
going to tempt you to do that.
No, because once you have the money and then you realize, okay, oh, it's just another car, it's just another house, I can go a little bit higher. No, unless, like I said, unless it changes your world so drastically that staying there sort of like gives you $1 million or something magically happens.
Yeah, I know instances where that can happen, but yeah.
Unless something like that happens, there's no need. There's no need, especially here. We are in a country that has so many options.
Yes.
And so many places where you can be distracted that you just want to just take it out and just sort of get it. No, don't live beyond your means. And this is one thing which my mom and dad just kept telling me, but I sort of chose to ignore. And he used to tell me, like, even before, because he has gone through a lot, because he started working at a young age, so he knows what
life is about.
What life is about. And me sort of like trying to figure out in the dark, okay, let's do this, let's do that.
When you could have learned from him.
Yeah, exactly, because he was there, both of them were there, but I refused to see it because I put the wall in front of me and then I crashed headlong into it. I put that wall and I crashed, and I have no one else to blame but myself. And that's one thing you have to do as well. Don't try to push your blame onto others. Never try to push your blame onto others, because there are a lot of things that we could have done, that I could have done, that would have averted that situation. And it's not my parents' fault, it's not anyone else's fault, it's not the bank's fault for giving the money, it's not anyone else's problem.
It's not Dubai's fault for being a bling bling country.
Yes, exactly, because it's very easy for people to say, oh, they had this and then I did this. Yeah, I did this. At the end of the day,
you played a role.
Yes, you played a role. You used that card to buy that item. You spent the money that is in your bank account. It's you. So at the end, you have to sort of like always step back and see
what role you play and own it.
Because if you don't own it,
you wouldn't learn.
Yeah.
You wouldn't learn, and you wouldn't even change, because then you keep blaming other people for what is happening to you when you can actually change what the situation is, which is what you have done, right?
Yeah.
And so this is why you then segue into becoming a solopreneur now. What were you doing before you head into photography? Because I feel like you've loved photography for a while now.
Yeah.
But what were you doing before you then?
Because I started off my base as a graphic designer.
Oh, okay.
That was like in early 2007, 2005, 2007, I was a graphic designer.
Okay.
And then when I joined my last company, I was a graphic designer and I automatically became an in-house photographer, because I sort of went up to the directors and told them, like, hey, can I do this? Because because we used to like hire photographers from outside to take pictures of the items and everything. So I started getting interested. Okay, I thought, hey, this is something that is fun, that I can learn. That because at the end of the day, as a graphic designer, you ultimately need images that you want to be able to use from somewhere.
Yes.
You can use stock images, but there's a limitation to the stock images.
Sometimes you might not get exactly what you want. Yeah.
And again, Dubai has lots of places where you can actually tell a story, and when you go there and take a picture, that's your picture. You are actually telling the story with that picture. Or that video or whatever it is. It's your story. It's you in there. You have taken the effort to go and do that. So when I was working there, I sort of used to go to Al Quain, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, and this is like early in the morning, like 3 o'clock. I used to drive all the way there, because someone told me that there is a mountain there that if you take the picture of that, it looks very nice. So I would go, and there are times when I would go drive down to Business Bay, and I would stand on the canal, and this is like early morning, just when the sun's rising
and capture that moment.
Yeah, you get those views, and in Sharjah as well. So it's sort of like I self-taught.
Taught yourself?
Yeah,
wow.
For photography, because And plus, yeah, I did the courses online and everything, but it was mostly self-taught. It's me taking the camera, going out
and
and
actually
trying
practice
to
them.
practice,
And then
practice.
learning some things that you can do better. And then,
Yeah.
wow.
Because it ultimately affects how you do your job as well.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of like, because anything that you buy, any gear that you buy, even if it's a watch, you want to be able to know the ins and outs of it. Because you don't want to be like searching, oh, okay, what does this button do? What does that button do? No. You need to be say, okay, that's that button. It's there. It's all there. Because it, again, because I was also working as an in-house photographer, me going and doing landscape photography outside in the mornings and everything sort of actually helped.
Yeah,
because it sort
the
of gives you a
work.
different perspective on what you need to look for. Because in a landscape photography, you know, okay, it's a beautiful vista, you can take this much. But then when you look at the product that you need to photograph, you need to think, okay, that's not like a landscape. So how much do I put in? Does it need so much? So it gives you a little bit of technical practice on that. I'm not a very good technical photographer by any means. Because for me, it's
more the visuals.
Yeah,
and
because before I take a picture, I see a picture of it in my head. And my challenge is actually, okay, what do I need to do? What light do I need to use to bring that picture out
to life?
To light it out? And from there, it's basically 2018. I said, and this all worked with the sort of like reinventing myself kind of thing. So I had to like figure out, okay, I've hit rock bottom. There's only one place that I can go, and it's up. There's only one place that I can go, and it's up.
Absolutely.
And I had to realize, and I also realized another thing, because I let myself go as well. I was actually double the size of what you see.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is true reinvention. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was actually double the size of this. I was like around 92.
Do you have pictures?
Yeah.
Please, okay, you send some to me because I gotta show these people.
Yeah, that I was like 92, and I told myself, if I can't take care of myself, how can I take care of others? So first of all, that change had to be me, and it took me around a year to actually, I put in the effort, and I lost around 25 kilos, and I've been maintaining that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a long maintenance. It's around 4 years of that, but yeah, but I've never felt better. Because I keep telling people who I see now, in those 10, 11 years where I was working with the companies and everything, I always let myself go. And I never felt physically great. I'm 43 years old, and I feel like I'm in the best physical shape that I have ever been.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm like absolutely happy because of that. Because when you get up in the morning and you think, oh, okay, I feel great. You know, physically you just feel great. Whereas before, because of all that shit that I was in, I had to like get up and like, no, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I just gotta do it. So it's 50% mental, 50% physical.
So you have to
you need to have both. And I'm not saying like my mental thing is like it's 100%, but because there are days when I sort of like regress, and you know, I feel like you know, I keep going back to the olden days and like sort of like thinking, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done that. You know, I keep beating myself up for it. Those are the days when you really have to push to double hard,
get back on
because
track.
You shouldn't. Because when I look at myself and when I get up in the morning, I like thank the universe, because from what I was before to what I am now, that's a huge improvement. And I'm happy just because of that.
Absolutely.
I'm happy because I'm there on my own 2 feet, because when I look at it, it could have gone a lot worse from there when that happened. But for me to be here now, sitting here talking to you, that itself, it's part of the change.
And finally, I thank me for putting in the work.
Yes.
I thank me. Wow, that is such a fantastic journey from rock bottom to where you are today.
Yeah.
This is not to say that this is the peak
Yeah.
of where you can be, but looking back from where you hit rock bottom to now has been a progressive journey,
Yes,
and
it
that is just worth sharing. And I would just like to plug in here before I ask Muneer for his last message to you listening. But I mean, I would also like to, say some of the things that just comes to mind as we have that conversation, is that regardless of what level you are in your journey right now, especially if you did something, you did. Yeah? You messed up big time. And we all do from time to time. And so you're right now in that dark place, asking yourself, how did I get here? How is that? There are those times that when you ask, you say, how am I so stupid? How can I just let this happen to me? It's okay to scream at yourself, but please, beyond the screaming, stop, stay quiet, and ask yourself, how can I move on from here? What can I start to do differently? Right? But just know, you have to do the work. You have to be the one to make the change. You have to be the one to reinvent yourself. Like Muneer just did. He literally, from the money management to the self-care, right, to deciding, this is the route I want to take and I'm going to do it. It's not going to be easy. Nobody's going to give you food. Nobody's going to place the money in your pocket. No, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it, right? Like you heard what he said. Once in a while, yes, you still fall back and say, oh my God, I messed up again. I did it again. But no, then you just have to look forward, because you look back and say, okay, I've made progress, and you can just do about more. So if you're going through a downtime, if you are currently at rock bottom, this is to tell you that you can come out. You can come out. You can climb back up. But to do that, you need to take responsibility, and you need to seek help. Help from friends, from family. You got to drop your ego. You got to drop your pride and ask for help, okay? Help is available for you. Muneer, what's your last message?
The last message, it's the same thing, because don't try to live beyond your means. Be happy with what you have, but also sometimes realize that when you're doing these things, some of the times you might feel that there's no one's going to be there. No one's going to be there. No, there are people. It's up to you to figure out and to seek them out, because like I said, it can go a lot of ways, but unless you put in the effort to do it, nothing's going to change. Because yes, there will be times when there's going to be no one to come and save you, and those are the times when you yourself have to push a little bit harder to actually seek out the people and say, okay, this is what I want, can you help me with this? And I'm sure if you just search a little hard, you will find those people that can help. And
Absolutely.
it's there. It's all within us. We just need to
Bring it out
a little bit, and everything will be fine.
Absolutely. Fantastic message right there. I hope that you have found, or you've learned one or two things. I have, and it gives me hope, really, that regardless of whatever it is I'm going through right now, I have the power to change my story. I have the power to change the trajectory of my story, and I just need to put in the work, ask for help from the right people, and keep pushing. And I'm going to get there, okay? So, and I hope that you've also learned something, all right? So it's like, come your way again. Remember, if you've not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please do subscribe. Share with a friend who needs encouragement. Share with them. If you also have a stretch story and you want us to learn from your story, please reach out to me, send me an email or follow me on social media, and let us talk about how to feature you on the show. Also, remember, I'm going to leave the link to Muneer's LinkedIn. He does amazing work on LinkedIn, teaching us how to take portrait photos and why you need one and why you need to brand yourself in that regard. Now I know, okay, he's a designer, no wonder. Anyways, so I'm going to leave the link to his LinkedIn account in the description of this video and of the audio podcast. So please do connect with him. And if you are in the UAE and you need a beautiful portrait taken of you, absolutely, he is the dude. He's good. He does even does it with phone, and it's like, mwah, how much more using his camera. Okay, so you want to work with him on that if you're trying to rebrand or create a brand out there and you need visuals for it, then he is your go-to person. Again, please do connect with him and do work with him. And guess what? If you want to work with him, just tell him EJ sent me and you're going to get a special discount, okay? Yeah. Till I come your way again next week, take care of yourself. Remember, keep stretching, but do not snap. You got this. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you for watching today's episode. I really do hope that you found it valuable. All right. If you did, please visit us again next week when we will put out another episode. In case you forgot at the beginning or at the middle, now is a good time to click on the subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you don't get to miss any of our episodes. All right. Till we come your way again next week, remember also to read the description of this video for any links that might be there that would help you or also help you support the work that we do here. All right. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.